Scientists unearthed a block of ice dating back 40,000 years. To their surprise, a faint human figure was visible inside, although his features were indistinct. They could vaguely make out that a man was lying inside. This major discovery quickly attracted attention from all walks of life. To get a clearer view, they used a laser to cut through the ice. The figure inside gradually came into focus. It was an ancient wild man, who appeared to be around 30 years old. After consulting with one another, they decided to perform an autopsy immediately. They sent various body parts to the most specialized universities to ensure that data on this ancient human was preserved as soon as possible after thawing. The ice block was then placed in a temperature-controlled chamber. After thawing at room temperature for a day and a night, the true form of the Iceman was revealed to everyone. His entire body was a purplish-blue color, and his posture had stiffened. After 40,000 years of preservation, even a single hair on his body was extremely precious. They cut open the fur coat covering the Iceman, removed the small stones tied to it, and took off the small ornaments from his wrists. Finally, they carefully set aside this 40,000-year-old fur coat. The Iceman's skin was now exposed before the doctors. Surprisingly, his skin had not burst from the thawing ice and snow. After testing, it turned out that the Iceman's skin secreted a peptide at low temperatures to reduce damage from extreme cold. If this mechanism could be fully understood, humanity might achieve eternal youth and immortality. The doctors immediately administered essential nutrients to the Iceman. During skin vitality testing, the man's long stiffened body began to soften. Suddenly, the technicians behind them let out a gasp. The Iceman had regained vital signs. The autopsy team immediately halted their work. After a flurry of activity, they rushed the Iceman from the autopsy room to the emergency room. After examination, his central nervous system was found to be intact, proving that he was indeed still alive. There was no time to hesitate. The doctors brought in nutrient solutions and then administered adrenaline. All preparations were complete. The defibrillator was set to 200 volts. However, they didn't even need to use 200 volts. With just a gentle 50-volt shock, the Iceman's heartbeat returned to normal, and his vital signs were fully restored. However, when he awoke, he was overcome with panic. To the Iceman, humans from 40,000 years later appeared no different from aliens. Amid the chaos at the scene, Stanley removed his hood. The Iceman, as if seeing a fellow human, calmed down slightly. The anesthesiologist acted swiftly and immediately administered a sedative. Soon after, the scientists built an ecological park for the Iceman and began to care for him. Initially, they observed his habits and later began various experiments. But Stanley was the first to speak up and express his opposition. He argued that even a human from 40,000 years ago had developed self-awareness and should be treated as a human being. After a heated debate, the experiments were shelved. The Iceman began a normal life. Just as Stanley had said, he could start fires and make tools. He was no longer a savage, hairy beast. In fact, he was likely a hunter in his tribe. All it took was a single leap backward to send the wild boar crashing into the trap. One day, while exploring a waterhole, the Iceman accidentally unearthed a faucet. It was the first time he'd seen such a gleaming, golden object. He immediately treated it like a treasure and set it aside. Following the water pipe, he discovered a hidden door. After jiggling it a couple of times, the door swung open effortlessly. The moment felt just like a caveman version of the Truman Show. Startled, he nervously ran to high ground and let out a loud roar, thinking an intruder had invaded his territory.